In the mix with DJ Rambo Rich.
Okay, so welcome to the What's That Music About podcast. I'm your host, DJ Rambo Rich, and in today's episode, we've got a guest hailing all the way from the United States of America. It's none other than Dre Hilton. So, firstly, thank you for agreeing to do the podcast, and it's great to have you on the podcast.
Man, I am so glad to be here, man. I'm glad to be here with you. You've got some awesome things going on, man. And I feel like I'm partially here and partially in the UK today.
I appreciate that. Like I say, I mean, when you messaged me to ask if you could be on the podcast, I was like, I looked at your videos straight away and I saw that, like, from your sort of shows, I felt like when I was watching the videos, I was actually there, and I could really feel the sort of like the joy and happiness that you were spreading through music. And again, this is what this podcast is all about. So when someone like that calls me up and says, or messages me on Instagram and says, "Can I be a part of it?" I'm always going to say yes, because
Wow.
you know, my motto in life is to spread love and positivity. And, you know, the world isn't the nicest of places at the moment. And I feel like us artists have a bigger responsibility to sort of bring the joy to people in their daily situations. But like I say, I appreciate you just wanting to be a part of this. So I think what we're going to do now, if you just would just introduce yourself, tell us a bit about yourself, and then we'll take it from there. So if you just did like to introduce yourself and tell us about your music, so definitely.
Absolutely. Well, my name is Dre Hilton. I was born in a city called St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis, Missouri. If you don't know much about St. Louis, if y'all don't know much about St. Louis out there, there's a rapper named Nelly who came out
of
with a
course.
bunch of hits. I'm going down, down, baby, your street in the... Yeah.
Definitely.
Yes. That is Nelly's hometown as well, St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh,
And
cool.
so I'm a singer, entertainer, performer, touring artist. And I've been doing this professionally for about 12 years now. So the show that I tour with is called the Motown is Soul Music Show. And so we do tributes to old school singers like James Brown, Ray Charles,
Yeah.
the Temptations, and the Four Tops. So classic songs like "I've Got Sunshine on a Cloudy Day." I guess you say, "What can make me feel this way, my girl?"
I mean,
It's a
classic.
little early here. Yeah.
I know, definitely. I know when we were talking about the time differences, I think it's about 9 o'clock in the morning
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
It's lunchtime here.
Yeah. So
But
we
no,
do, the old school
classic song
music.
that, yeah.
Yes.
You were going to say, sorry, so you do old school sort of
Yes.
Motown and the classics, basically.
Yes,
No,
we do.
definitely. I mean, talking of classics, when I was a kid, I used to always love this song called "Up on the Roof."
Yes, that's a good one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, because I used to, in the house we lived, I used to live in the attic, and it was like had its own staircase. I used to always think of that song as I was walking up my
Yeah.
staircase up on the roof, because
Yeah.
my bedroom was in the roof. So
Yeah.
definitely.
On the roof. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good one, man.
It was like, I think that's the Drifters. If I'm
Yep. The
yeah,
drifter.
uh,
You
I,
know your
I'm
stuff.
I've not butchered it. I got
Yeah.
on one of these episodes, I got Donna Summer mixed up with, and it was this
Roberta
era.
Flack.
No, Donna Summer mixed up with someone of us in the same sort of house of sort of
Oh,
style of
Diana
music.
Ross.
Yes,
Diana Ross.
and
Yeah.
I felt so terrible. But hey, I think what we're going to do now is going to move to the first round, which is mixtapes and memories. So 1 second, then we'll be on mixtapes and memories. Okay, so this is mixtapes and memories, and in mixtapes and memories, we talk about past memories of music that shapes the key moments that shaped your musical tastes and influences. So to start that off, what's your first musical memory?
Man, my first musical memory is because I'm a church boy.
Yeah,
My dad is a pastor. And my first music memory was when I first started messing around with my first instrument. Now, most people know me from playing piano, but my first instrument was actually drums. So I was like 5 or 6 years old, and we would have something called Sunday school before
yeah.
church service. And so my dad knew that I had this passion for music, and my family is a musical family too. So my dad, but he would let me get on the drums and let me hold like a little beat, like on the drums. And I do recall that, although I was like 5 or something, and that I fell in love with music from that day. Yeah.
I love that. That's great. Like,
Yes.
it's funny. Like, this is why I like asking this question so much because I like, especially this round of the podcast. I like taking people back
Yeah.
to know like where it all started and sort of like
Yes.
you remember because when you're in the journey of doing music, you sort of forget about those things because you're so busy thinking about what's currently going
Yeah.
on, and then you think, "Oh man, remember when I was like, remember those days?" And it's great. So,
Yes.
what was your so? I'm guessing that was where you had your first musical performance then, and where you
Yeah.
probably saw your first musical performance. Uh,
Yeah.
so so do you remember what was your sort of like first musical performance like then?
My first musical performance,
Yeah.
I was in elementary school. I want to say I was in the first grade, if I'm not mistaken. First, or yeah, had to be the first grade. And we were doing this tribute to like old school jazz type singers.
Yeah.
And the whole class had to try out for this specific solo, or at least most of the class had to try out for this solo. And I got the solo, and it was a song by an old school singer named Fats Waller. And the song,
Okay.
yeah, the song was called "Feet's Too Big." So it
Right.
was him telling the girl that, hey, it was like, your feet's too big. Lady, chick, your feet's too big. And he was saying like he couldn't date the girl because her feet was too big. A funny song.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I was wondering why I was picked for the solo because I didn't really think that my tryout or that I didn't think that my voice was any different than the other kids, but they picked me, and that was a highlight of the whole show. And I was like, wow, why was my part of the show a highlight? And I didn't know, what my future was gonna be. It was gonna be this. So yeah, that was my first performance. Yeah, elementary school, Persian. It was Persian school, and I did the Fats Domino Feet's Too Big song.
Cool, man. Joy, you talking there is maybe thinking about. I'm dyslexic, and I was lucky enough in secondary school to go to a
Yeah.
school that helped dyslexic kids and kids with learning difficulties. And anyway,
Okay.
every year we would have school nativity, and every year I would do a song. I get up there and I sing a different song, and the
Uh,
one I remember the most was a song by a guy called Simon Webb, and it was called
okay.
No Worries. And
Okay.
no, it's funny how like people talk about their memories, brings back memories for yourself, and it was in the church like yourself there, and
Yeah.
no, it's funny like but I was like for me it was like to get the confidence because
Yes.
I was a kid that had dyslexia. I struggled with the confidence, and I
Yeah.
wasn't, I struggled with all the, the confidence. And the only thing I felt good doing was performing,
Wow.
and
Wow.
that's where how I got into DJing. I did acting and then musical theatre, and then DJing, and that's why I'm
Wow.
here now. So it's funny how like you saying about that. It's sort of like those sort of moments are the ones that really sort of shape and like inform your future, if you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
it's great
Yeah.
hearing you about that. So,
Yes.
so what was your first sort of album you bought, like physical media?
My first album that I remember buying because hey, I came up in the whole 90s R&B world,
I remember those
okay?
days. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
90s
I
R&B.
definitely,
So my
definitely.
first album that I remember buying was a group called Soul for Real. I don't
Right.
know if the album was called Candy Rain, but the single Candy Rain was on there, and that was a hot song, hot music video. That was the first album that I believe that I purchased.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it rings a bell this because I'm a '90s kid myself. I was born in
Yeah.
'91, and
Okay.
it does ring a bell. If I heard this, I think I'd know it straight away.
I'll sing just a little bit of it. It goes, my love, do you ever dream of
Yeah, I'm sure I know that.
candy coated raindrops? Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm so nostalgic about the '90s. I
Yeah.
feel like I feel like I'm turning into that old man that always says that their era of music is the best era of music. But I do love '70s, '80s,
Yeah.
'60s. I mean, I think
Yeah.
it's great. But like I say, I do get really nostalgic about the '90s music because it was such a good era for like in terms of like the broad range of different genres of music. I feel like it was
Yes.
the era where sort of like there was so much more. You like you say R&B. Then there was
Yes.
obviously my wheelhouse, the dance music. No, yeah, like R&B music, dance music, and then in the UK there was like garage music,
Wow. Okay.
and then like there was all the pop music, like the boy bands in those era.
Yep.
Now
Yes.
my I'll say this forever, forever and ever. My favorite boy band in the '90s, Boys to Men, that hands down.
Yeah.
Because I
Yes.
feel like I don't get enough credit because they were the template for everyone that came before.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And I feel like you wouldn't have your NSYNCs and your I can't remember the other group now. Names are
Backstreet
terrible.
Boys and all
Backstreet
of
Boys.
those.
You wouldn't have those if it wasn't for Boys to Men. So
Yeah. Yeah.
shout out to them. Now, funny story, quickly. My first job as a teenager was working at McDonald's,
Uh,
and I'm working the drive-through one day, and this sort of like people carrier, Mercedes people carrier, comes through the drive-through, and I take the order over the intercom, and they come to pay, and it was the driver that paid. Anyway, I looked in the back, and it's only Boys to Men.
oh man, that is cool.
And I realised when I got home that I looked in the local like theatre near us, they had done a show at Boys to Men
Wow.
in Preston, and I didn't say anything. I was like, they probably get pestered all the time. I just clocked. So like went like this, went okay, yeah, that's Boys to Men, and oh, that's £5.68, please.
Yeah.
There's a
Man,
change, you know.
what a cool story, man.
I know it's great, and I've always think about that. Like I say, but no, like I say, it's good. This is what I love about music is it helps like two people from different sides of the world can just connect straight away.
Yes. Yes.
It's great. Um, so when was the first time you started to feel like you were starting to get sort of like momentum in music? Like you started to feel that I can really actually do this. Like this is actually like a good career. I feel like I could do this as a career.
I'm gonna have to say the year was probably 2005, 2006, when I was still living in my hometown of St. Louis, and I put out a gospel little EP. I put out a
Yeah,
gospel EP, and the music got in the hands of a very popular radio DJ locally. Who I mean, this man ran it all. His name was DJ Dwight Stone, and he played the music. He played one or two songs from there, and those songs got into heavy rotation And man, people started booking me for shows around there. It was that time when I realized that I can really do this, that this could happen on that next level.
Definitely. I mean, I love that you mentioned the DJ there because I feel like that is a job that like some DJs are forgetting these days. That you've got to sort of
Yeah.
support these artists because
Yes.
you're playing their music essentially,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
so you need to sort of build. And this is another reason why I wanted to do the podcast is because
Yes.
you know to build that to help them have a place to have a platform to sort of
Yeah.
showcase what they do. It's so important. But no, and big shout out to that DJ. I want to get his name again. What was his name?
Yep. DJ Dwight Stone. If you look for his, or actually if you search, I think it's under DJ D Stone, either D Stone or Dwight Stone. He's 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 light years ahead of where he was back in 2006. He's major, major, major. So check
Right,
him out, man.
gosh,
Yeah,
definitely
check him out.
big shout out for him there. Definitely.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, definitely. I love that. I think what we're going to do now is going to move to the next round, which is on repeat. So 1 second, and we'll be back with that.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so this is on repeat, and in this section we talk about the present and what current challenges and projects that you're working on and developing. So to
Yeah.
start that off, what's your what sort of currently are you working on?
Right now, I am working on a big show that we have coming up in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Oh,
I'm
cool,
sure
man.
y'all have heard about Vegas
Yeah,
out in the
definitely,
UK. It's a
definitely.
big city.
In because it's a northern town, Lancashire. I live in Preston, Lancashire.
Uh,
Whenever I see Las Vegas on the TV, it's usually like boxing matches.
yes, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. Yeah, so we have been blessed. It's me and my partner in crime, Stephen Regal. We have a group called the Fabulous Soul Brothers. And yep, we've been booked for Vegas next month, March 22nd. And we are really taking out a lot of time to rehearse and prepare for this major moment. Shows like these don't come every day, so we want
no,
to take
no,
full advantage of this. So we are excited about the Vegas show as well as booking for our summer and spring tour.
definitely, man. And I bet you're
Yeah.
really sort of super excited to sort of just get started. Like get to it.
Yes.
Like I'm preparing for some DJ sets myself, and I'm picking
Yeah.
out the music, and and I heard a song on the radio today, and I was like, how have I forgot about that song? That's
Y-
got to go in. Do you know what I mean? Like, so no,
Yeah.
and then you start to get excited, don't you? And you're like, oh my god, we're getting closer. I want to just get to it now, and But no,
Yeah.
that sounds great, man.
Yeah.
So what would you say your daily sort of challenge is to sort of get to where you need to be for that?
My daily challenges is sometimes I feel like there's just not enough hours in the day.
Definitely.
Yeah. Of course, there's 24 hours in the day. I wish there was like 32, but I would say
Mm.
time management is a challenge because I have so many duties. Like I'm a father too,
Yeah, yeah,
and just time management and just trying to make sure that I hit everything that is on my list.
yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know if you like me. I always let my nephew and nieces like have a play around on my DJ decks, and
Yeah.
my eldest niece, who
Hmm.
I let her have a go on my decks, and she was sort of trying to scratch, and she was sort of like blend the beat and everything. She didn't know what she was doing, but it was all for a first try, it wasn't bad at all. You see, and I just thought
Yeah.
it's great to see that, but definitely
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, man.
So, so what does success look like for you then, currently?
Success looks like being happy with who I am because, you know, I've had to learn that success isn't all about the lights, camera, and action. Although
Yeah,
that's how the world might view it. You know, people who see my post, you know, they can be like, "Wow, he is successful." Mine is having
yeah,
peace within, because there are some people who have it all. They got all of the money, they have
yeah.
all of the riches in the cars, but they don't have peace within.
No,
That's what
definitely.
success that's what success looks like for me. Knowing that my dreams is helping other people.
Yeah,
Uh
I
that's
love
what
that.
yes. Being able to take what I do and teach my children. Like I have a daughter, my daughter is 16. She wants to be a business person. So she has started her own business, baking cookies and selling cookies.
Oh,
And
I love that.
the fact that I can show her, hey, listen, dad has his own business in the music industry, selling tickets, booking venues. The fact that I can show her that same concept
Yeah,
and she
definitely.
learned from me, you know, I'm a good father, she would say, you know, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what success is to me.
I love that you like sort of because I always say to people like even if you don't sometimes when you're trying to pursue a thing, whatever it might be, maybe you want to be an accountant or something like that, and and if you ever don't achieve that thing, it's never wasted because you never know
Yes.
where that skill is going to come in. Like I
Yep.
say, and it's good that like you're using your skills with like selling tickets and the music business to help her see you know, the admin side of the music stuff because
Hmm.
it's a nightmare.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
you
yeah,
were saying about the hours in the day, literally, it is like another job essentially. So it's great that you're showing
yeah,
her like you know sort of like oh maybe we should do it this way or you know what I mean like showing her the
yeah.
the figure word I'm trying to find is guidance. You're giving her guidance.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
Definitely. So yeah, I think what we're going to do now is move on to the third round, which is discography, where we talk about your music. So 1 second, and we'll be
Okay.
back with that. In discography, we talk about their music, and to start that off, I'm going to ask you to tell me an interesting story about a song of yours.
Yes. Okay. So in 2014, I had this idea. I felt in my spirit that the world needed something for children.
Definitely,
So in 2014, I started working on this children's music project. And at first, I was just gonna do just a single, just one song. So there was this idea in my head to tell the kids that they can.
yeah.
So I was playing around with a few lyrics, a few melodies, and I came up with this song called "Yes I Can." And so I took the very little money that I had, went to the studio, found parents who could bring their children to the studio, and we made a really cute, fun record called "Yes I Can Kid." Then fast forward maybe a month and a half after that, I took the money that I had, I did some fundraising because I shot a big budget video for it.
Oh,
Yes, I
cool.
can. And
Oh,
man,
gosh.
that song went viral. And then I ended up being nominated for a Grammy for that single.
Jeez,
And
gosh, man, that's crazy.
yeah, so that got me in the whole Grammy world, and I've been to the Grammys a few times since then. So I have released other songs since that one, but no, none of my other songs was as successful, not as nearly successful as Yes I Can.
Definitely, I think what we're going to do is when we release this episode, I'll try and I'll try and link it
Yeah,
like to the video and that for you because
yeah,
I think the listeners would love to like see that. So definitely,
yeah.
but no, that's amazing. That I mean, that's like like crazy. Like, so actually, I've got to like the Grammys and that. Like, you see on the
Yeah.
TV, don't you? Like, I think to go back, it's one of those ambitions for the future, isn't it? I'm going to go to that award ceremony and do this music,
Yeah.
and so definitely it's one of those, but like bucket list sort of tick off the
Yes.
moments.
Yeah, man.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll have to get you over here, man. I'll be going next year, man. We'll have to get you over here and let you experience that.
I mean, that'd be crazy. DJ Rambo Rich.
Yes.
I
Hey,
mean,
all things are possible, man. Everything's
definitely,
possible.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
Like I say, it's crazy, isn't it? Like, I mean, a year. If you think about it this way, like a year ago, I wasn't doing the podcast, and because of the COVID, I'd sort of like before COVID, I'd planned to sort of do DJing. But then obviously COVID happened and it wiped out all
Yeah.
plans. So I had to wait a bit. But then,
Yeah.
like January last year, I got back into the DJing, and then now I've started doing events, and then I've got another thing coming up, and it's funny how things sort of develop, and if you sort of manifest those
Yes.
things, you think
Yes.
yes, and then it suddenly happens, like crazy. It's crazy. Like
Yeah.
my next goal is to try and get a regular Friday night slot or Saturday night.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
from there, you see. But no, it's like you were saying there. You should never sort of just say count things out. You just you never know where it's going to take you. So you just gotta
Yes.
just do the best work you can and
Yes.
just enjoy the ride because you only live once. I feel like I've said all the slogans here, the cliches, but no,
Yeah.
but they're
Yeah.
true though, aren't they? They're true. Like you only live once. You'll only
Yeah.
be ever this young once.
That's
So
right. That's
why
right.
not? Definitely.
Yeah.
Um. So let's just if you just I was wanting to ask so you just tell us about your sort of your tribute act work
Yeah.
and concerts. So tell us a bit about that for the audience.
Yes, absolutely. Well, you know what? I have to say, doing this Motown and soul music tribute show, it's amazing. But I have to be honest, I never thought that I would be doing this. I never did.
Right.
When I was coming up, I wanted to either be, the next gospel act or, kind of like another Usher type person or something.
Yeah.
But what happened was I was introduced to I came into this Motown tribute game when I joined a production that's in a city called Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. It's a town that has a bunch of theaters and family like attractions. People come to vacation here.
Yeah.
Well, there, because I don't live there anymore. But anyway, so I got the opportunity to join a big Motown show there. And when I came and I was just so amazed that people still love this music so much, man. The people would come down in big bus loads to our concerts from all over, and seeing how much the music blessed these people of all ages, and seeing how it brought families together. I was like, you know what? I want to continue this. So I was with that Motown production for 8 years, 8 years from 2013 up until 2020. And then 2021, that's when I stepped out on my own and started booking my own Motown shows and everything and just traveling with it. So yeah, it's been 12 years of me doing this, and
Gosh.
I gotta say, I never thought that I would do this, but
Well,
I love it.
definitely one thing I will say though is whenever I see like posts on your social media and like you take a picture with people or everyone looks so happy and you can
Yeah,
tell
yeah, yeah,
like you can't fake that stuff. Do you know what I mean? You can't
yeah,
fake. I feel like when you see people like that, you can just tell. And I could
yeah,
just tell when I looked at the video. There was like a trailer for a show or something that you had a couple of months ago coming up,
yeah,
and they were interviewing people, and I just could tell. Yes, this cat is a good dude. Like I could
yo,
tell.
man,
On
thank
on
you.
like the group, you could just tell like the group of people you're with is just a good group. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I get a sense of that even this side of the pond. Like it's
Wow.
just if this is what I like about when I look for people like to work with people in music, even on the podcast or whatever way it may be. Are they just
Yeah.
good people? That's how,
Yes.
forget the music part for a second.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
people, like that
Yeah.
is all that matters. Are they helping people?
Absolutely.
Definitely. So it's great to see that. And especially like you were saying there about how people love this music, like the Motown sort of, music. And I have a DJ friend called Oki, and I think you and him would probably get on quite well because he's like, of all the DJs I know, he is the guy that if there's a track, an old school track, like he's the guy that knows the name, he
He
knows the
knows it.
guy that works with it, he knows the guy that would work with that guy, and that he knows the history. He's like an encyclopedia of the history. So
Wow.
I could
Wow.
see you and him like hitting it off, just talking about
Yeah.
music. Definitely, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Link us
no,
up, man.
definitely. But no, like I say, so like, what are you fit in the show? What's your sort of favorite tracks to perform then?
Mine, I do this James Brown tribute. So songs like I feel good. Da-na-na-na-na-na. I know that I would now. And in the show I do his dance moves and all of that. That is a real electrifying part of the show.
Cool.
And yeah, that's definitely one of my favorites. I love doing there's this Ray Charles tribute that I do where I put on the shades and I do the whole act, the whole Ray
Yeah,
Charles act.
definitely,
And
yeah.
yeah, those are some highlights of our show. Yeah.
Definitely. Go back to my friend that's like the encyclopedia of music. Um,
Uh
he loves Quincy Jones.
Yo, yeah,
He's like
legend.
a massive Quincy Jones. His favorite track is "The Dude."
Yeah, okay.
When
Yeah.
he was on the podcast as well, and when he was on there, like anyone that's not released their own music, I always put like their favorite song, and I put "The Dude" for him because he
Yeah.
loves Quincy Jones so much. But like I say, no, it's great. So, what are your plans for the future then?
My
Like,
plan Yeah, my plans for the future is to uh I would really love to get a residency for our show, whether that's a Las Vegas residency or
definitely, yeah.
somewhere, and then I want to grow the production. And as I grow, of course, I'm getting older. I would like to be able to, a few years from now, I would like to be able to scout out younger talent
Mm,
and give them a platform because I think I can see maybe 5 years from now, 5 years on, it'll be time to do a Boys to Men tribute act, a
definitely.
a
I mean,
Backstreet Boys. So I would like to be the one behind the scenes that set that up for a young group of guys, you know, who can do that. Yeah.
I will say over this side every Friday night. We've got a chain. There's a chain of clubs in Britain. It's just pop music,
Uh,
just pop music. It's called Pop World, right?
mm-hmm.
And it's all like Backstreet Boys, sort of '90s music mainly, but all pop music. Like '90s, sort of like Backstreet Boys and that. So there's definitely a market for that over this
Yes.
side, and
Oh,
especially
yes.
Boys to Men. You see, like so. In fact,
Yeah.
as you're saying this, I was like, if you ever did a tour over here, I know another guy that would be perfect for you guys. Like
Okay.
100%. I feel like it could be a future in this, man.
Hey, listen, I'm coming over to the UK. That's been a dream of mine, man.
Definitely. Like I
Yes.
say, but yeah, definitely. I think what we're gonna do is move on to the last round, which is Dream Big. So 1 second, and we'll be back.
All right.
Okay, so this is Dream Big, and in Dream Big, we talk about the ambitions and what success of the future looks like. So to start that off, what's your biggest ambition for music?
My biggest ambition, meaning like what's
Like in the future, in
in the future.
like say let's say like 20, 30 years time, what do you want to where do you want to be at?
Man, I want to be like at a place where I can really help whatever, like, because of course, 20, 30 years from now, I'm considered an old guy. I
Yeah.
want to be, I want to
God.
be, yeah,
I think some people though, I think you say that though, but I feel like some people stay young forever. Like I'm
yeah,
30, I'm 34 this year. I look probably
okay.
about 25. You
Yeah, I
know,
thought you was. Yeah, yeah.
like, and
And
I get ID going to the club with my decks.
yeah, 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 yeah,
So
yeah.
I think some people can stay young, but you were saying yeah. So you said you'd be considered an old man, but carry on, yeah,
Yeah, I want to be someone, I want to have a big establishment that can help keep entertainment going with great entertainers. I want, that young generation, to be able to come through the Dre Hilton establishments
I
to
could see
get
this.
to their Broadway, to get to their, I just,
Yeah,
you know what? Put it like this. Instead of me being a player like in the game, like a football player, a basketball player, I want to
yeah,
be the coach. Let me play coach
yeah,
when I'm,
definitely, definitely.
yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I feel like talking of the basketball reference there. I feel like in years to come, because I'm a just full disclosure here, I'm a Golden State Warriors fan. Um,
Okay.
um,
Yeah.
hence the little
I
net on the
see
back as well.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
um, I feel like Steph Curry is going to be a coach in the future, 100%.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, so, but
Yeah.
it's good, like you say. But like when you've been the player, it is good to sort of impart that knowledge to the younger people, like you say,
Yes.
definitely, because
Yes.
you've been through the fires, you've been through the
Yes.
successes, the ups, the downs, the
Yes,
unsure
Lord.
moments, and then you
Yep.
can sort of help them navigate that in a way
Yeah.
that's more better for their mental health, for their
Hmm.
safety. I mean, definitely. So, this is always an interesting one and a hard question at the same time because mine always change daily, and I feel like it is depends what you've been sort of like listening to. So, what are your dream artists to collaborate with?
I would love to collaborate with Bruno Mars. Uh, I love Bruno. My favorite music producer is Pharrell Williams, man. I
I mean,
love Pharrell Williams.
before the music, I just love him as a person.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, uh, just the way his energy and the way he sort of, I feel like if he's in the room, you've got a good dude in the room. So,
Yes.
if you make music, great. But if not, exactly, it's all good.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
So, so what about him specifically? So what sort of stuff would you like to collaborate with him to do, sort of like music wise?
Just, whatever they would come up
I
with.
mean,
I mean,
it'd be great. Whatever it is, it would
yeah.
be great, wouldn't
Yeah.
it? But like, would you have a sort of direction or like a sort of like, oh, this it'd be cool if we did this sort of thing, or I don't know.
So let's say when it comes to Pharrell, I would love if we was doing a record together, if we was working together, I would just love if he would do a record with me using the old Neptune sound. I'm still listening to
Right?
all of the
Yeah,
old
yeah,
Neptune
yeah,
records in
yeah.
that sound. And there are some producers that's purposely bringing it back. People
Mm,
that were fans of his
yeah.
that's bringing the old Neptune sound back.
I
Yeah.
mean, I discovered Neptunes from there's a jazz piano guy in Britain called Jamie Cullum,
Yes. Yes.
right? And he
Yes.
did a cover of Fronting,
Fronted. Yeah.
right? And I remember when I was a musical theatre person, I'd perform that once, like his version of it, Jamie Collins, and then I looked at the
Yeah.
actual original one, and and that's how I sort of first sort of got into like Pharrell Williams
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
like the connection. Like someone covered it, and then. But
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. When you say Neptune's early sound, I know exactly what you mean. So,
Yes.
so what's your dream sort of place to perform, or festival, or location to perform? Like, what's the sort of top on the wish list?
I want to come to the United Kingdom. And you know what?
Well,
I really mean that. And I'm not just
we've
saying it because
no,
we are
we've
talking.
established that's happening now, haven't we? It's
Yeah.
definitely happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
And it's something that can happen because, I just need to find a venue.
Mm.
I do have a passport. I already have a passport. So I just got to find a venue and let's make it happen. I think that the UK would love some of the old Motown music
No,
and the
I know they would love. I mean, I
yeah,
know that this is depending on the location. I know that there is a market for it. hundred
yeah.
percent, there's a market for that because there's a lot of over here. What's it called? I'm trying to think. There's a lot of like Northern Soul nights as well,
Yeah,
which is
okay.
similar but different.
Yeah.
So I feel like that sort of crowd would like, Motown as well. You see, and definitely now there used to be a UK tour of like a Motown sort of show, and
Okay.
there was another show called Dreamcoats and Petticoats.
Okay.
They've got a lot of albums. You might want to look that up. And I think that was
Uh-huh.
like 50s music.
Ooh, okay.
I might be wrong. It's definitely older. It's not 60s.
Okay.
Maybe a little 60s. I think it depends on what album you listen to of theirs. But
Uh-huh.
basically where it worked like this. There was a CD called Dreamcoats and Petticoats, and it was like also the sort of old school sort of 50s, 60s, that sort of era. And then the CDs did so well, they put a tour out.
Wow.
And then they did multiple tours, but then they did albums that were like specific to a certain period of time.
Wow.
So I definitely know that your sort of act, there is a market for it over here.
Yes.
Definitely,
Yes.
you just venue, finding the right venue would be the thing, wouldn't
Yes.
it? And then
Yeah.
you're off to the races, definitely.
I'm gonna get
Because
started on it.
I can tell from your videos as well. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not just saying this because you're on here. I'm not trying to hype you up or anything.
Uh-huh.
I'm not being an MC over it. But like I said, I can tell from your videos that people have a good time.
Oh
And
yes.
you know, one thing British people love to do is have a good time. Any excuse, especially
Oh man.
any excuse. I mean, the king in his coronation. Let's have a good time. You know what I mean? Like,
Wow.
you know.
Well, I'm coming, man. Hey, I was probably maybe top of 2026, maybe. Yeah.
I think 2026 is the year for everybody. I really do.
Wow.
I think this year, I'm not like I know or anything. I could be wrong, but I feel like this year is the building year,
Yeah.
the hard work year, and I think
Yeah.
2026 is the year where it takes off.
Yeah. Hey, I'll see that. Yes.
So, moving on to the last question, is there any other dreams or ambition that like I haven't mentioned, but like sort of fit in flight? For example, for me, I'd love to make a James Bond theme that was like a dance track. That is like a thing I want to do. I don't know why I want to do it, but for me, it's probably the Britishness in me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, that would be really cool for me, and be like a really different sort of vibe. I mean, there was the Madonna one, but it wasn't dance enough for me. But maybe that's me being fussy. But anyway, but is there any other sort of accolade or something like you thought about for years? You thought that'd be great to achieve that.
Yeah.
Cloud
You know
nine.
what? I would love to actually score a film. I would love to score a film. I really do. That's something that's a end game, as they say. One of my end game goals to
Yeah,
score a
definitely.
film. You mentioned Quincy Jones. You mentioned the James Bond stuff. Those that the whole James Bond series, man, got some good music. That has some good music that
Yeah.
that plays for those moments.
You know what you made me think of there? It's used in the film as well. The song Troubled Man, I think it's used by a rapper as well.
Yeah,
Is it
Trouble Man.
Mar-
Ti.
Yeah, I think so. And the original like sample was from like Marvin Gaye or someone like that. Not Marvin Gaye,
Oh,
but I'm terrible with names today. Troubled Man, and it was a film, and the film was starred the singer that wrote the song. Uh,
okay,
I'm
okay,
gonna have to send you the video. What I'm on, like send you the from Spotify what the track is. I always think of
okay.
that. I always think of that. Like when you were saying scored, I was like, oh yeah, the Troubled Man. He was the actor
Yeah,
in it, and he was the. I don't know where that came. Like why I remembered
yeah.
that, but no, like it would be cool. That so is it any sort of genre of film? Like what sort of genre were you thinking of scoring?
I don't know, man. I'm a very diverse person. You know, I would say something that's a movie that's very maybe story driven
Mm.
or a comedy. A comedy. I love comedies. I don't think I could do a horror film. I don't come up with dark
Yeah,
uh
I mean, I can't watch. I mean, I'm too much of a wimp to watch horror films, so.
yeah. So am I. So am I. Cause
And they've gone too. I feel like they've in the genre of horror, it's gone too far now. It's
oh yes.
it's too far. Do you know what I mean? It's too
Yeah.
far. So I
Yeah.
don't, like I say,
Yeah.
but no, it'd be great that, like I say, and I think like it'd be such a good challenge for like anybody to sort of. It's a different sort of wheelhouse, isn't it? To sort of score a film, and you know,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember watching, the band Linkin Park.
Yes.
There was a guy, and I think he scored the film The Raid. There's I think it might be a Korean film. I'm not sure. I'm apologising
Uh-huh.
to anyone if I've got it wrong. But it was called The Raid, and it's about this tower block, and all these people go in there, but like it's run by gangs and stuff. And he scored that film, and
Wow.
when I after watching it, I was like, oh my god, he scored that film, like because I saw the credits.
Yeah. Wow. Great for
Another
him.
another guy I love that scores music is Hans Zimmer.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
It's great because there's a DJ called Pete Tong, and that song from Inception Time.
Uh-huh.
He's done like electronic sort of dance version of that, which is great.
Okay.
But
Uh-huh.
definitely, but no, it's been really great having you on the podcast. Like I say,
Likewise.
I really appreciate. I feel like we talked a lot about a lot of common ground talked there,
Yes.
basically. And no,
Absolutely.
like I say, I really do wish you like all the success for you and your group.
Yes. Thank you.
100%, man. Like I say, and
Yeah.
I hope the business with your daughter goes well. Like I mean, being an uncle myself, I always like when I hear people like doing things like that, I think it's great. Like we got
Yeah.
to support young people, and
Yes.
help
Absolutely.
that
And
because they're the future at the end of the day. I know it sounds
they are.
cheesy, but it's the truth, isn't it? But no,
Yeah.
like I say, I'm really excited to see what's going to come for your future, man. I feel like good things are promising. I feel like I always say that, but I always genuinely mean it. Like I say, I'm gonna leave you to it, and we'll leave it there. You have a good time there, mate.
DJ Rambo, thank you so much, man, and good luck to you. Hey, get it rolling, and I think I'm gonna see you on a higher level soon too, man.
In the mix with DJ Rambo Rich.